Hello and welcome to another episode of Find Your Beach. It's the number one beach enthusiast podcast in the lower 48. We're really excited about what's been happening with beaches, sand, rocks. Some have grass.
Sunblock.
Lead into a... I was just talking about like beach surface.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's... Forgot what podcast I was on. I have another podcast about
Where you're
sunblock.
Going to talk about like all the things at a beach.
Yeah.
Find Your Beach is kind of more like, what do you like? Pebbles? Do you like a stony beach? You know, some people
Shells?
like a, when you go to the Mediterranean, sometimes it's just rock and then water.
Or you could just go anywhere on the East Coast. Anywhere along the East Coast, you just got rocks instead of sand.
Yeah.
Do you want to hurt yourself on your way into the water?
I do.
Then
That's kind of my bag.
Congrats.
That's my bag, baby.
Real quick, just want to address this because I saw some comments in, I hate to say it, on YouTube.
Dad's in trouble.
No, I just, some people are confused about like what's happening with the podcast until October.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like I've gone over this, but I apologize if I've been evasive. We are doing the podcast up until Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. Our last episode for a little while
Will be Friday the 29th.
and that will be live at Montreal Comedy Festival. Then we are taking a break and we will be coming back in October. Okay? So that's the plan. Just want to make sure you guys know. If you are a Patreon member, you can stay. We're
going to hit pause. You're not going to get charged.
We're just hitting pause, and then everything will start up again in October, and we're going to have better content. We're going to have more content. We're going to have somebody else running the Patreon. So you can actually trust it.
Party. You can party.
Yeah. So I did want to talk about something because I went to the doctor's today.
Okay.
And I'm dying.
Yeah. So is the podcast coming back?
I will be running the podcast post-mortem from my grave.
Wow.
No, I went to the dermatologist and I was getting a skin cancer screening. Uh-huh. And so she checks all over your body. Yeah. And she was looking at my body and she was like...
Did she look at your vagina?
She looked inside my vagina.
Great.
I was like, is this part of the screening? And she was like, no, but I'll throw it in for free. And I was like, okay. But she was looking all over my body, and she was like, first of all, I mean, this is amazing. And I was like, I know, right?
What?
Just my body.
Oh, wow.
But then she asked me, out of the blue, she goes, have you ever had any blistering sunburns?
Jesus.
And I was like, no.
Do you think it's because your hands look so old?
Oh, wow.
Do you think that might be why?
Wow.
She might have...
Can't believe you.
Do you think she saw your
Do
hands?
I have old hands?
No, not at all.
You're such a fucking prick. Anyway, she goes, have you ever had any blistering sunburns? And I was like, no, not that I know of. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she never said anything else.
Well, you didn't follow up, or you just were too alarmed to...
Well, I was like, she'll probably tell me why she asked that.
Oh.
But that was it. That was the end of that.
Jesus.
She just moved on. And now, I walked in being like, I should go to the doctor because I'm worried about if I have skin cancer or not. Mm-hmm. And now I'm just worried about, is my skin, do I look like I've been covered in blistering sunburns? I mean, which is worse, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything that would suggest that you have...
This is why I avoid the doctor, though.
Why? Just because you might get your feelings hurt?
No, I mean, I don't care about getting my feelings hurt. It's more of like, they just give you something else to worry about.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes
like,
you want to worry about those things.
I'd rather just wait until I have skin cancer.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you look great. I think everybody thinks you look great.
But that's not the point. What I'm saying is...
Now you're worried about it.
This is why I avoid the doctors. You know, everybody's like, go to the doctor. It's great. You should go to the doctor. It ends your anxiety because you're not just sitting here in this place of like, do I have this? Am I going to die of that? Blah, 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 blah. Now you're just sitting here going like, am I ugly?
Oh, yeah.
It just replaces your anxiety-ridden questions with more questions.
I'm sorry. I love the doctor.
You do?
Yeah, because I'm just like, what about this? Have you seen this? What does this mean? And then they answer all my questions, and I have nothing to worry about.
You just believe them.
Yeah, of course. Why would I not believe them?
I don't know.
Have you been wronged by a doctor?
Not yet.
The only negative experience you've had is when you go to some snake oil salesman that fills your face with fat from dead people.
That's actually been fantastic for me. I've never been let down by...
what about the time when your face swelled up?
That was my mistake.
Why?
Because I flew too close to the sun.
Oh, you went for too much procedures in one day.
I flew too close to the sun. I said to myself, hey, they're giving me a deal. Never say yes to a deal.
Especially in a medical situation.
At a doctor's office.
Yeah.
Okay? You never want to do that. You never want to do a Groupon for a medical procedure.
Yeah. Did you?
Do you remember Groupon? What happened to them?
They're around.
Are they?
Yeah.
Dude, Groupon was so big for a second, and I haven't thought about them in years.
It was crazy. You'd be like, hey, let's go to this restaurant. And then somebody would be like, why do you want to go there? And you'd be like, because I have 4 people to eat dinner for $75. That's why. I got $75 4-person dinner.
You were probably big on Groupon.
I actually wasn't, because it felt... I'm kind of a spontaneous boy. You know, like I plan so that I can be spontaneous. Mm-hmm. And I never liked that, like, we have to go to this one place and do this one thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like forced recreation.
Yeah, I'm more like, let's go to this part of town.
You had a great idea last night, which was to rent out a movie theater for...
Nope.
A night.
Yeah, I think we should
to see the movie Nope.
Yeah, it's a week from this Friday. The 22nd. It's going to be big. It's going to be good.
It's a great plan.
I still think we should do it. Maybe it'll just be the 2 of us.
Just the 2 of us?
Yeah.
We just fuck in the movie theater?
Yeah.
Great.
The one that I saw advertised was 420 friendly. So that means that we can not smoke weed in there.
That's amazing.
But we won't get in trouble for not smoking.
If we do.
Yeah. If we relapse.
Yeah.
What if you saw a movie theater and it was like...
whether you smoke weed or not, you just want to know that you could.
I want to see one that's like what would be the code for heroin friendly?
White horse.
Yeah, white horse friendly. Brown girl friendly. Smack adjacent.
Yeah.
We watched Poltergeist last night. We've been in a real slump. Basically since my birthday weekend, we've been doing a lot of communal eating and group movie nights. We do have a house guest in the form of one Nicholas Kibbe. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we watched Poltergeist last night. That's what I was trying to get around to.
Yeah, which still holds up.
Wacky, scary. It's got funny moments.
It is one of the, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of hilarious moments in this. Like there's that one moment where the girl is, at the beginning of the movie, the girl is like staring at like a staticky screen and her mom goes like, that's bad for your eyes. And she changes the channel and it's just war. It's just some guy getting blown to bits.
Yeah.
And she's like, there you go.
Well, it's weird because it was like, you forget that Steven Spielberg used to make like really like artsy movies, because that was like what the big movies were, like weird and kind of artistic back at that time of the whatever culture.
Which was when was Poltergeist made?
That was probably 80.
Yeah.
80-ish.
Okay.
Craig T. Nelson went on to be the dad in he went on to be Coach in the sitcom Coach. I forget what else he was in. I always get him confused with the guy that's in Modern Family and Married with Children.
Ed, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I was wondering if I'd seen that actor before.
Yeah, you had.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
If you like scary movies, Poltergeist is kind of, I was like, I can't believe I hadn't seen this before, because I'm a big horror movie person.
You know what's really surprising is they haven't tried to redo E.T. yet.
Thank God.
They've redone everything.
Can I tell you something? E.T. does not fucking hold up. It is so boring.
Yeah, it's a lot of...
And I know that I'm like crushing people's childhoods, but...
Well, maybe you should be secure enough to like something on your own without somebody else saying they don't like it.
Yeah, maybe try that.
I hate that when people are like, but I like that thing. And you're like, great, I don't. We can still be friends.
Yeah, I mean, you're wrong for liking it,
This
but
isn't
it's fine.
the Roman Empire where you're a heretic all of a sudden and I have to stone you in a square.
It actually is
In
the
a
Roman
piazza.
Empire.
What?
It actually is the Roman Empire.
Oh, because we're falling? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. We've talked about this.
I was listening today, and the Democrats are about to get butt fucked.
What are you talking about?
The midterms are this fall,
Oh, yeah.
and we're gonna lose everything. Just gonna be Biden.
Lose everything. We don't have anything.
We have Congress and the presidency. We have the
But they're
executive.
not doing anything anyway.
I know, but what I'm saying is we theoretically have them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, we're fucked. And
moving.
did you vote
Yeah.
in the midterms?
Well, they're not. I didn't early vote. They're in August. Is the early voting for here?
Okay. Well,
Or
make
whatever.
sure you vote, you know?
It does a lot.
Get out there and vote, really.
General strike.
Just
That's
the
the
lack
only
of-
thing that we can do. I swear to God, it's the only thing we can do that's actually going to move the needle, and nobody has their skin in the game to do it. That's the problem.
What do you mean a general strike?
Everybody strikes. The entire nation strikes. Like if everybody striked that was like pro-choice, it would disrupt the economy so much that they would have to do something. But the problem is that everybody goes to one march and they're like, I'm an activist. And then the Republicans or whoever, corporations
So
are
you're
like,
saying everyone stop spending money for a day? What kind of strike?
you don't go to work, you don't buy stuff, you do it for a while. Because if nobody does anything, it's so bad for the economy, the government has to act.
Yeah.
But nobody's ever done a general strike in the United States. So it's pretty unlikely.
It is a good
But they do that
idea.
shit in Europe. They'll do that.
Yeah, I know.
France will be like, oh, you're going to raise gas prices that much? Watch this.
Yeah.
We're all going to sit down on the dirt
I love that idea.
and we're going to have dirty pants. Take that, Michelle. A man named Michelle.
I love the idea of not going to work for the day.
Yeah. Imagine the sketches you guys would come up with at SNL
What?
for general strike. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
What about a general strike where it's just all the generals from the army? They just strike. You know?
They just go, we're not fighting today.
We're not doing it. Until abortion is legal,
We're not going to war.
go to war. Until a woman has a choice of her body, we will not be invading this small brown country and blowing it to smithereens. I will not do it. Not on my good
refuse.
conscience.
So, Andy, are you excited? Because you're going to Chicago this weekend.
I actually am really excited because it's not a long trip.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be back on Monday. And I'm also excited because it's a short flight. It just feels very easy. It's kind of in and out.
Yeah.
And I'm taken care of the whole time. I'm not doing any kind of like ragtag, like, oh, I'm staying in this hotel and driving 4 hours and all that,
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that anymore.
That's right.
No more Mr. Nice Guy, actually.
No more Mr. Nice Hands.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
We had this friend.
I am 40 years old. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I will not sleep on my friends' floors.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
We have this friend, or Andy has this friend, who is kind of a pain in my fucking ass. And
He was your friend. He was your friend before I was your friend.
Yeah, well, he's a pain in the ass, and he decided, like, he's one of those people that says shit to you that he thinks is going to be funny and he thinks it's going to be endearing, and it just comes off as like, you're a prick and fuck off, and I hope you fucking crash your car. But he said some shit last night that really got to me, where it was right before I went on stage, of course, but he was like, somebody watched your special and they were like, does Rosebud really like Andy?
Yeah.
Or does Rosebud even like Andy? And I wanted to be like, what the fuck do you think? Yes. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's funny for me to go on stage and be like, oh, I love my husband and everything's great, and every time I see him, I just picture him as a child and I just want to hold him in my arms and tell him everything's going to be okay? What's funny about that?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's cute.
But that's not funny.
No, it's not.
Why would I say that on stage? So he was like, and then he was like, but I like it because you're a feminist, and it's like all these guys have been like, oh, my bitch wife, but now you're like my bitch husband. And I just went like, God, I fucking hate you so much. You know what I mean? Like deep, deep, deep in my soul, I was like, I really fucking hate you. And I don't know why you're telling me this. And it just drives me nuts because it's never questioned whether or not you love me. And you tell jokes about me all the time on stage. And nobody ever goes, do you even like her?
No.
I'm like, it's such fucking bullshit. And I've been thinking about it ever since. And I was like, maybe I'm just done telling jokes about Andy. Like, I think I'm just going to not do it anymore. Like, it's not necessarily worth it because it's so fucking frustrating to, like, hear these bullshit questions from people that don't know that they're even being misogynistic, that it's coming from a misogynist place.
You've been feeling that a lot lately. You've been in not like it's a new thing for you, but you've definitely been putting your foot down when it comes to unchecked misogyny. I've noticed that. It's been bugging you.
It has been bugging me a little bit, and I'm like, I don't even. Oh God, are you okay?
Yeah.
Can you not burp while we're talking about this?
It's like
Can you stop burping during the podcast?
Like, Homer Simpson reaction to
Blech, sorry.
I support you.
I mean, I don't want to like go on and on about it because I guess I just get sick of hearing about it, and I get sick of thinking about it, and it's easier to just pretend like it doesn't exist. It really is easier to just pretend like, fuck it.
Well, I think you should tell jokes about whatever you want to. I don't think you should ever change. Well,
obviously, and I'm going to, but I don't know. The things that people don't really, it's weird. People don't ever really question my loyalty. Right.
They sometimes will be like, are you happy? Are you glad you signed up for this? That kind of thing, like a joke.
Yeah.
They'll be like, are you glad that you're in this position? What's it feel like, kind of thing? And, I'm like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. We're joking.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, maybe the jokes, part of me is like, well, are the jokes not working? Are they more mean than they are funny? How do I avoid this conversation? Because obviously I don't want anyone to question whether or not I love my husband. And I'm like, I don't want...
You know what? It was probably that girl that asked if you really liked me is kind of a smoke show. And she was probably just trying to get to me, and she probably has a crush on me. She's probably just trying to do some backwards kind of like get to Andy stuff by like kind of like being like, oh, Andy, are you safe? Do you need a safe place to go? Do you want to lay on my stomach?
Well, it's good that's what you took from this. And I will, you know what? I take it back. I don't like you. I don't even like you a little bit. And she can have you.
No, babe.
She can have your oddly shaped body.
I do have an oddly shaped body. But you also have an oddly shaped body.
No, I have a great body. I look like one of those fucking pinup girls.
You have
Are
a
you kidding
long
me?
torso and tiny legs.
I have an insane body, Andy.
You're 5 foot -1.
Huh?
Rosewood's 4'11". Nobody knows that. Her real height is 4'11". If she wanted to, she'd get a handicap placards in our car, but
Yeah.
she's too embarrassed.
But I can't get a handicap placard just from a picture of my face, which you can.
Yeah.
So
They're like, this man is clearly very ill. He's not going to be able to make it in the grocery store from across the parking lot.
yeah.
Nobody thinks I'm ill.
Okay.
I was the most physically fit person on the weekend. I swam to the middle of that lake like a goddamn champion. Actually, Kibby's probably more physically fit than me. Let's be honest. He kind of looks like an Adonis.
When you stood on the dock in the middle of the lake, you looked like a haunted man who had just been standing on that dock for 50 years, waiting
Really?
for the fog to lift.
Because I was so white.
You were just the way you stand. You just stand like a ghost.
Do I? I stand like a ghost?
Yeah, stand up.
I don't want to now.
Stand up.
All right.
Just stand. Yeah, if I saw you in a hallway backlit,
Well, how?
stand facing the camera. Stand facing the camera. Andy, stand facing.
understand how normal people stand.
So if you put a light behind Andy right now, would you guess that he's that guy in the doorway from The Sixth Sense? Because I would.
I'm a little tunky right now, but I'm not weird.
Anyway, sort of got to watch the podcast on YouTube to sort of get that joke, but I assure you, if you weren't watching, it was fucking hilarious.
I don't like how weird I am. I want to go to a place where they rechange my body.
Where they rechange it.
Yeah, like I want to go to a place where they put me in like a cryogenic chamber and they like push all my bones in certain directions and they feed my skins with serums and I have to exercise until I'm like, fucking just dead.
Yeah.
You know what was funny is, so our friend that you've been annoyed with, our other friend who we went to lunch with, his girlfriend who was on the trip, he asked her to rank everybody on
the trip.
And number 1 was Kibby.
Yeah.
And our other friend was last place. And you were number 2. It was Kibby, then you.
Oh,
Yeah, she liked you.
that's sweet. I liked her too.
Everybody loves Kibby. It's so funny.
He's great.
You could put Kibby in like a hospital waiting room and everybody would be like, I like that guy.
He's great. You know what? Kibby's one of those people who, like, if Kibby was my best friend and Kibby didn't like somebody, I'd be like if Blair doesn't like someone,
You are
I
like,
automatically am like,
this is a
this
bad
is a bad
sign.
person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
And you can kind of, my mom is a good test of character too. My mom can like kind of tell when someone's like a bad person.
Suss out a shithead.
Yeah. She can suss out a shithead real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And if I know my mom's not going to like somebody before they even meet, I'm like, this is not somebody I need to be hanging out with.
I need to distance myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Good for you.
Well, just
You guys
saying.
you are intuitive. You're very intuitive. You have a witchy sense about you. You knew that though.
I feel like I am intuitive, but you lie like all the time. You like about little stuff. Like I'll be like, "Hey, did you move this thing?" And you'll be like, "No." And you're
Yes.
so passive about it that I'll just be like, "Okay, well that's a lie, but whatever." Like I just sort of like go, I don't know why he's lying about this because it's not worth making a big deal out of.
Yeah.
But the amount of lies that you tell about absolutely unimportant bullshit
Yeah.
is staggering. Mm-hmm. Why do you do that?
Because you are scary and you will just raise your voice to win. It's not a logical win. Like at night when I like want to go to sleep and I'm like, well, the TV's very loud and it's bright. And then I'll like turn it down to like an acceptable volume and you'll go, turn it back up. And I'm like, well, clearly I'm not going to fight with you about this. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to lie to you than to tell you the truth in those instances. Obviously, I wouldn't lie about something serious. Like if you were like, do you still have feelings for me? I would not lie, you know, or if it was like, blah, blah, whatever serious thing we needed to talk about.
Yeah.
But if it's like something like, did you do this thing? Because there's a double standard in our relationship as to who gets in trouble for little things.
Wow, it's really interesting how in every story you're the victim.
I am a victim. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
so
anyways,
much easier to lie than it is to just, I don't know,
I'm abused.
have an adult conversation. Maybe
That you don't need to have an
upset.
adult conversation about like, did you throw away this coffee that's been sitting on this table for 4 hours? That's not an adult conversation. That's a simple thing. I'm like, no, I don't know what happened to it. But I did. I did throw it away because it had been sitting there for 4 hours.
Yeah, but it's so weird that you won't just be like, yeah, I threw it away.
I'm scared of you.
Well, that's insane because you're not a child. But
Well, you're scary.
no, you're a 40-year-old man who can't confront somebody.
Okay. I confront lots of people, but not you. You're the only person I don't do it with. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I wouldn't confront.
There's plenty of people.
Yeah, there's some comedy people that I like won't confront just because it's more. Well, there's nothing to win. The confrontation, there's no winner.
Right.
I'll just be like,
I'll do that too, though. There's like some conversations it's just easier not to have, and but I won't do nothing about it. If somebody upsets me, I will literally go, I'm not going to tell them that I'm mad. I'm just going to say nothing and sort of disappear and get some distance from them.
yeah. I mean, I don't really distance myself from people unless it's like we're having actual beef. But if it's just like a thing where it's like easier for me to just lie, I don't know. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. It's like I shoplift. I always shoplift one thing when I self-check out.
Do you really still?
I mean, I don't even mean to do it half the time. But yeah, like if something's like exorbitant, you know, like if I'm at like Whole Foods and I'm like self-checking out and then I like look down and like I'm like, oh yeah, these probiotics are like $45. I'm like, I'm not paying for that.
You'll shoplift $45 worth of stuff?
I'll pay for everything else. That's like a dinner. That's a dinner out.
It's so insane because we can afford it.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like, it's weird to me that you still do that because we can afford that shit.
I get it, but it's principle.
And it's so the principle is you've been sober for how long?
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And you're shoplifting shit.
Not
and
a
you're
lot,
40
not
years old.
every time. And the last time I did it, I just shoplifted a probiotic bar. This is more when I didn't have money.
It's just so crazy.
But I didn't even mean to do it the last
That's like
time.
20-year-old behavior.
I don't do it other places.
That's gotta stop.
I don't shoplift clothing. I'm not shoplifting
I don't care.
expensive items.
Why is it that whenever you talk to somebody who steals, they just start pointing out all the stuff they don't steal? Like that's like they should win a chance to steal something.
Well, you don't recycle all the time, and you're stealing life from a dolphin. Who's worse? Me stealing $40 from a billionaire, or you stealing the golden years from a turtle?
What?
Huh?
A turtle lives a painfully long time. I'm doing them a favor by cutting their life short.
I don't think that they think it's a long time.
It is way too long. I guarantee you, have you ever seen a turtle who's like 100 years old? They look like they're begging you to die.
No, they just move slow.
like
That's why they get to live longer.
They're moving slow because they want to fucking die. No. That's why turtles move slow. Everybody thinks it's, oh, look how wise they are, and look how it preserves their years. They're begging for death. They're begging for it.
Oh, that's not true.
That's
not
why.
true.
That's why the second they're born, they walk right into the ocean.
They are killing themselves.
They're trying to kill themselves.
This one time I was on a boat in Mexico. Me and Kibby, actually. We were in Zipolite, and we were on this boat ride. And the one cool thing about the boat was the guys were like, you can smoke pot on the boat with everybody. Like, it was like a guided tour, but they were like, we don't care if you smoke pot. So we were like sitting in the back smoking pot with the crew of the boat. And then there's just like families on the boat. And then one of the crew guys, we're going along while we do this. We're just going through the ocean. And then he just like turns off the engine and just without telling anybody anything, just jumps over the side of the boat. And everybody's like, what is going on? And he goes underwater. He's gone. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? I'm high too. And then he just comes back up to the surface holding a giant turtle like this. And he's just like, Tortuga! It was one of the best days of my life. It was really good. Anyways.
He just caught a turtle with his hands?
I mean, it was like not catching. It was like the size of this table. It was huge.
Wait, so he got it with his hands and swam up?
I mean, it wasn't the size. It was probably this big. And yeah, he did. He swam up and held it in the air.
That's wild.
It was a giant turtle. It was really cool looking too.
When I was in Arizona, there was a bunch of turtles that were like on the property, and I would just go out every day. And if
the yurt place?
Yeah, of the hotel. Yeah. And I would walk out with like a carrot because I would bring back the veggie plate that was in the green room every night. And I would go out with the veggie plate in the morning and I would feed the turtles. And when you walked up to the side of the lake, they all came swimming towards you.
Because they knew you had carrots.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you really think turtles are begging for death?
Yeah, they all looked like they were ready to go.
Do you think you would like that? Like if you had like a shell that you could just like climb in and chill for a while?
Yeah, that's what my apartment is.
But I meant like you could just like stop on 3rd Avenue and just be like, I'm over this.
Yeah, I would love it. How many times a day do you think to yourself, God, I want to be in my apartment?
I'm not like you. I want it when I'm burnt out, but I like the outside. I like being out there.
I like it too.
Rubbing elbows with the dirt.
I like it too, but I still need to recover.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. There's a lot going on outside. This is New York City. I need a shell.
I think we should take a break and get some drinks and then do Monday's episode. But before that, is there anything you'd like to announce? Like maybe your schedule for Montreal.
I don't have that. But I will be in Montreal from the 25th through the 30th of July. Huh?
It's 26th through the 31st.
26th through the 31st of July. And thank God for my husband, because I wouldn't know where I'm supposed to be ever if it weren't for him. So you can check the website at montreal.hahaha.com. You can come see us. We're going to be there doing our very last Find Your Beach ever.
Ever?
Well, until October. Sorry.
No wonder
I'm like,
confused.
Why are people confused?
And I will be, if you're listening to this, I'm in Chicago right now. I'll be at Zany's Old Town tonight for 2 shows, Saturday for 2 shows, and Hilarities in Cleveland Sunday night. And then I will be in Montreal with my wife, kind of holding her bag and other objects that she hands to me. Same dates that she'll be there. And then the first weekend of August, I will be at the Comedy Works South in Denver, Colorado. And I'm very excited to eat burritos and swim in rivers. Those are 2 things I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
We love you.
Wash your hands.
Don't lick your lover's eyes.
And don't spit in their mouths.
Unless it's a committed monogamous relationship.
Goodbye.
Bye.
When the panic hits